Hello there, and welcome back to Vintage Story. I hope you're having a wonderful day. This is my third take at getting an intro done. I haven't liked any of the other ones I've done, so let's see if this one actually turns out better. At the end of last episode, I teased some of our plans for building the base. Now, I haven't figured out where I'm going to lay everything out, but I do have a few ideas. First off, this building that we're hiding in right now, well, hiding on top of, I'm going to be reworking a bit. I'm going to make it look like an Adobe abode. I think that'd be kind of cool, especially since, as I mentioned last episode, the plan for this season is to have a bunch of different builds of different styles all collected together. Stretch out my building abilities, test some things out, see what looks nice and what I like. Now, as for the main building, that's a little different. A few days ago, I saw a video pop up on YouTube. The video is by Cesarles? I think that's how you say it. Anyway, it's his Spanish villa build, and he did this build about 4 months ago. I'll include a link. I'll either have it up on screen, or if I can't figure out how to do that, it'll be in the description. Anyway, I love the look of it. So what I'm thinking is our primary house, wherever we end up putting it, over here. Of course, this is where the base is going to be built. I just haven't chosen a specific location. The main living area is going to be this Spanish villa. It's not going to be exactly his build from his video. I'm going to try to change it up a bit, make a few tweaks, add stuff I like. You get the idea. It's not going to be one for one. But that is my main inspiration, and I want to make sure I show you guys what it looks like because it looks awesome. And I was thinking maybe for the barn, wherever we put that, go for good old-fashioned red barn with a white roof. Little vanilla, but you get the idea. So that's the main plan. That's the building plan. It's obviously not going to be done today. or probably anytime soon. But we at least know what we're working towards. That said, I have a few other things I want to show you. We do have primitive survival installed, and so I made us a smoker. The smoker is 8 boards and 3 cobblestone. And then you can put up to 16 meat in here, smoke it using 4 firewood, and it drastically expands the shelf life of the wood. Raw meat, well, this is mostly spoiled already, but has typically about a day and a half, 2 days shelf life, even in storage. Once you smoke it, it's got, again, I'm playing on 20-day months, so I don't know how much that affects the spoilage rate. But here, it's got 64 days, and it's already been in here for 2 or 3 days. So you see the difference it makes. In addition, to make the smoked meat, you need to make meat trusses. That's just 4 meat plus either flax twine or cordage. And I do recommend early game using cordage, because you can get that from vines or from papyrus or cattails. It's not popping up. And so you truss the meat, you put it in there, you'll see it hanging, you light it up, and it takes a few hours in game. And then you'll have smoked meat, which lasts much longer. I've also set up a trout line, or a trot line. I keep wanting to say trout, as in like the fish trout. But I think it's pronounced trot, like a horse trots. Anyway, you have to span it across water. Here I've got spanned across a 9 block wide bit of the river. And each of these segments requires 1 piece of cordage. So I needed 9 cordage to do this. But then on each of these segments, you could then hang a fish hook. I have 4 fish hooks here. I've got room for more when I make more. But this will passively catch fish, which I can then smoke, cook, eat, whatnot. There are other things to do with primitive survival. We're going to get to it eventually. Might not be today, but in the future. And lastly, I'm working on a small project over here. Although I have to keep an eye out heading over here, because there is a bear somewhere along this side of the river. course. He's right where I would need to go. I guess I'll have to show you later. But you see that little fenced-in area right there? I have a wolf pup in there. And I'm trying to tame it up to be a pet. Once I can take care of that bear, I'll show you the wolf pup. Now that that's out of the way, we have some very important progress steps to get into. First, we need our chisel. Then we need the raw stone that we picked up the other day. And we need to make a quern. That's 2 sticks, 4 rocks, a hammer, and our chisel. So we need 2 of those. And that. So that makes our quern. And this will allow us to, well, grind down flour. But also we can grab some chalk. Here we go. Grab some of this chalk, toss it in here, and we can start grinding this down into lime. And once we have lime, we can combine it in water, 1 lime per 1 liter of water, to make lime water, which we could then use to wash the fibers that we've been getting, but also to soak hides in order to turn it into leather. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. That's why we got this barrel, and that's why I've been saving up our... Those are pelts. Where's my hides? Here we go. We've got 6 medium raw hides. Each raw hide requires 4 liters of lime water. So we need 24 liters or 24 of these chalk stones. And then obviously we're going to need 24 liters of water. And the way you portion out water, so this barrel only has 6 liters in it. If you click, you add 1 at a time. So we have 4. Now I refill the barrel, bucket. 14. That's 24. So that's all the water we're going to need. Once we finish grinding down the lime, we can add it to the water, turn it into lime water, and get started. And the lime is done. We go over here, put that in, convert straight into lime water. Don't need to do anything special. Then we grab our raw hides, toss them in. It'll tell you right here if the recipe's correct. If we put too many hides in, this down here wouldn't show up. So we'll turn the 6 hides into soaked hides after 20 hours once sealed. So now it's sealed, and we see at the top of the screen it says sealed for 0 out of 20 hours. When it's done, we'll have soaked hides, which we then scrape, and then we gotta make tannin. So I might as well make up a few more boards and make up a... Honestly, we should do 2 more barrels. We're going to want 1 barrel specifically for light tannin, and the other barrel for strong tannin, or for weak tannin and strong tannin. And then for the tannin, we're going to want either oak or acacia. We are definitely not in an area where we're going to be getting acacia, so we're going to go for oak. Why am I doing this the hard way? We have carry on. We're in an area where there's oak, so we're going to get oak. And then you need 1 oak log per 10 liters of water in the barrel. So for a full barrel here, we're going to need 5 to make the weak tannin. And then we're going to want 10 to make the strong, because you need to make the weak first and then add 5 more to the weak to turn it into strong. And yes, so I'm using the carry-on mod. I mentioned it, I think, in an earlier episode, but shift and then hold right click to pick up items, such as the barrel, And now I can carry the full barrel of water and shift, hold right click to place it back down. And you can do that with chests. Convenient for moving stuff around because otherwise when you break an inventory, its contents spill out. And we don't want the contents all over the ground. Especially since you can't pick up and carry water otherwise. Well, aside from in a bucket. You can't carry a barrel full of water. Let's put it that way. Or any liquid for that matter. So let's see. We should have some oak trees back this way somewhere. Alright, we got some oak logs. So like I said, we need 5. Tells us it'll turn into weak tannin. So we seal it. We cannot do this. Put the 10 in and seal it. We gotta do 5 first. And then in 24 hours when it's done, we can add 5 more in it to turn it into strong tannin. So now we got weak and strong tannin going. And we've got our soaked hides. They're a quarter of the way done. The hides are done soaking. So the good thing about soaking the hides is once they are done soaking, now they will not rot any further. So I then go and take this one, which has 4 days left. I can, first off, see how much I need. 2 liters. So we can make up a little more lime water for this. But now all these others hides, they're not going to rot on me. So it doesn't take much to preserve them. Okay, it takes 20 hours, but that's not much in game time. You do need to find a source of lime. Thankfully, lime you can get from chalk, which is what I'm using. Limestone, makes sense, it's lime after all. Marble, white, pink, or green. Or seashells. You notice I have I have a seashell right here. You can find them along shores, in water, especially in the ocean or lakes. And with primitive survival, if you make a fish trap, you can occasionally catch shells in it also. And you grind that down into lime, and then you can grind that down into lime for making leather. So now that that is started, let's see, I should need 5 more oak. And those are not yet ready, so those still need a little bit of time. And when they are ready, then we can drop the soaked hides in there. But first, we need to scrape them. So you just put them in your crafting grid with a knife. Each use will reduce the durability on your knife. But now we have scraped hides, which can then be exposed to tannin. You'll never guess what just happened. If the glowiness doesn't give it away, I was walking back home and I saw something. And we have the cat mod installed in addition to the wolf taming mod, so we can get pet cats. And I saw an animal and I couldn't tell if it was a very close cat or a very far away wolf. So I got closer to it. And it was the latter. And I became wolf bait. Well, we've got more meat and we've got more hide. So I can actually show you how to truss meat for the firewood. Smoker. Which, by the way, my earlier clip, I said smoke the wood. You can smoke wood, sure, but that's not what we're trying to do with smoking meat. So we're going to want 6 cattail so we can make cordage. And it's getting dark again, so let's grab my lamp out. And now we make some cordage with the cattails up. I want cordage, not... There we go. Oh, I grabbed more cattails than I needed. They take your raw bushmeat and put with the cordage, you get trussed meat, which we can then just right click in, and that stores it. And if I make up, oh, I've got enough firewood here. Add the firewood, close it, grab a torch and light it up. And it's got a completion bar there. Again, I don't remember exactly how long it's going to take. It doesn't take too long. Maybe a full day at most. But now we've got smoked bushmeat cooking up, so we can store it in here. And again, we are also playing with Culinary Expanded, Culinary Artillery, and Expanded Food. I somehow always combine the two mods. I mean, I know the two mods are, co-designed by the same person. Anyway, I keep combining the mods into one. So we can actually use bushmeat in any recipe that calls for red meat. So that's going to be convenient. But now we got a little more lumps of fat. We've got another rawhide that we have to soak. We've got another wolf outside, apparently. And we've got our weak tannin. So we toss our not rawhides, our scraped hides in with the raw tannin, weak tannin, and set that to go. Then we go to the other weak tannin, and we tossed 6 more logs in, seal that, and in 24 hours, that'll be strong tannin, and in 3 days, these medium hides will be done with this cycle, and then we got to put them into the strong tannin, which will take another 2 days. So it, including soaking them in the lime, it takes you 6 days to make, oh yeah, wolf is close, leather. That's not too bad, though. We've got a small problem. I thought wolves and bears weren't supposed to spawn next to your house or next to where you've built anymore. And those are literally right next to my farm fields. I'm just thinking about my plans here. I can make some arrows. I can also make some spears. Okay, 4 spears. We're going to keep our flint on us. We're going to... Alright, what I was going to do was run outside to get to the ladder that I have out there. But I think this is smarter. I have a ladder right there. Oh, I wonder if I have some deadfall traps there. I wonder if a rabbit got killed by it and that attracted the wolves. Ooh, that was a good shot. Yep, I had a dead rabbit over here. Don't throw on the run. You're always going to miss. Unless you get lucky. There we go. And I feel like I started this smoked meat far too soon. I'm going to have a whole bunch more to add to it. By the way, it's been raining in-game for like 5 days straight at this point. I can't tell what that is. It's a wolf. Nice shot. If you haven't noticed, and it's really convenient, when you throw a spear, it auto-fills another spear into that slot, as long as you have another one in your inventory. Well, that's one way to kill 5 minutes and 5 wolves. Let's see if I can actually get to our wolf pup over here, and if the bear is not still camping it. Okay, so we got our little wolf pup in there. If I highlight over him, it says taming progress is 55%. if we give him food, meat will give it 10%, bone will give it 5% progress. You can't feed him twice in a short amount of time, so we have to give him time to digest, and then we can feed him again. Once he hits 100%, he'll be tamed. And then we can look about moving him someplace safer, like over by our house. Oh, and the meat's done, so it took about 12 hours in game. So we can grab that out, and now we have smoked meat. 46 minutes out of an inventory, and if we toss it in here, 60 days in an inventory. Well, at least right now with a 0.77 multiplier. So since that's long enough, I'm just going to combine them and not worry about it too much. But that means I can now truss this meat and smoke it because it's only got 1 day in my hand and 2 days in storage here. Okay, so before I got interrupted, I was going to go out and do something else. See, this was actually changed in 1.19, but I never used it because we had another mod. We can now make, using reeds and a reed chest and a stick, a reed basket trap. So this is a good way to catch small animals. Specifically, you want to use it for catching lambs and chickens. We do also have the animal cages mod. So I can make a small animal cage. Really? I can't believe. Now get back here. I just blind shot him. Serves you right. Wasted another one of my respawns. And I didn't pick up all my stuff. We have the animal cages mod, so we can catch animals with the small cages. Well, okay, this is a small cage. So again, it's useful for small animals. Chickens, lambs, anything you would catch with the reed trap. So I'm going to go and try to catch us a few chickens. I'm going to set up the reed trap first, and then I'm going to use our small trap to catch another one. The reed trap, you do have to be kind of attentive to. With the animal cages trap, I've used this in the past to store animals practically indefinitely. With the reed trap, if you don't collect the animal out of the trap quick enough, it will suffocate. So, yeah, don't leave the trap and then forget about it for 3 days. You're gonna have dinner, but not an animal that you're trying to catch. There should be chickens over here. I remember scaring some yesterday. We are not... Yeah, last season, we played Chicken Chaser, where I chased chickens around into a hole. We're not doing that this time. We were also very unlucky with the chickens last time. Okay, I just heard some chickens. So if I place this down here, can I put food in that to trap it? Yes. Okay, so it's baited, and it says there it's fresh for 8.9 days. So that means that within the next 8.9 days, we have a higher chance of catching something. Meanwhile, if I take this, I have to find an animal. We're looking for a chicken. There should be plenty more over here. And then we want to smack them with the cage until we catch it. Thanks to the animated hands and whatnot, it makes it hard to see what I'm doing, though. Oh, there's a lamb. There's chickens, too. Do we want the lamb or do we want the chickens? Ah, I put it down. Smooth. I can't see. Get back here. There we go. Hey, we caught the lamb. So yeah, the animal cages mod, very, very easy to catch animals. I should have probably bookmarked where I put the reed trap, because I'm not going to be able to find it again. Yeah, so the animal cages mod, very easy to catch animals with. Much easier than the reed trap, but if you're playing without mods, the reed trap is a solid option. It's the grapevine I harvested, so right here. Okay, let's bookmark this. Okay. So, we're not going to be setting up our chickens just yet, or in this case, our lamb just yet, because I need to build a safe shelter for them. Oh, it's a baby bunny. I've had a lot of bad luck last season with my first animals. I chased the chickens into a hole to store them until I built a chicken coop. And then a bear spawned, went into the chicken hole, and ate all my chickens. So then I built a coop, and I stuck the chickens in the coop. And then a lightning bolt struck the chicken coop and killed all my chickens. So I'm not setting up a animal farm area until I have a lightning rod. Again, this is a little cheaty. I can stick this lamb in this cage, in this chest, and forget about it for about a week, and it'll be fine. Can't do that with the reed trap, though. I think we're going to call it a little early this week. I didn't manage my time as well as I should have. Thankfully, had a lot happen in a very short amount of time I had to play this week. But yeah, I think we're good here. Before we go, though, I do want to point out I did make some crocks, which we're using to store food. They do... Really? Really? More wolves? That's a future Arc Wolf problem. We made crocks. These do store 4 meals at a time, and they store them for a bit longer than if you were using your bowl. So they're good. They're smart to make. They're cheap to make with clay. You do have to fire them like you do other clay items. But yeah, we have a couple crocks here. I've also made a mixing bowl. This is from Culinary Artillery. The mixing bowls from Culinary Artillery. And you make a saucepan, also from Culinary Artillery, plus a stick to make a mixing bowl. We can then load up 6 food items in it at a time and mix it to make food. I've made some pemmican. This is, of course, just raw pemmican. You can cook it, but it has a long shelf life. 189 days on the shelf, and in here, 191 days. So we've got a little pemmican made up. Like I said, we can cook it up. It's a good food source. You make it with meat nuggets. So if we take some raw meat here, let's take some fat, and let's take the cranberries. We need to smash the meat first. So I'm going to use a wooden mallet to turn it into smashed meat. Going to then take our knife and cut it into raw meat nuggets. Go over to our mixing bowl. Fat. 2 bushmeat nuggets. And then fruit in the other 3 slots. Mix it together. And this will give you 2 pemmican. Oh, there we go. Accidentally did the first cooking with Arc Wolf. Well, we didn't cook it. And I think it's a good place to end. The pemmican, as I said, it lasts for a while. It provides you plenty of protein and veggies, so you can do that to help store it so you have meat Did I say veggies? I meant fruit. But yeah, it's a good way to store meat and fruit for over the winter when you normally wouldn't have access to fruit. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to call it an end here. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you've had a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Later.